page 175. Polyandry in the Vedic period. Sarva Daman Singh. The Rig Veda depicts the Aryans as a dynamic race, full of verve and vigor, hope and adventure. They fight as inveterately as they love and proliferate, and pray for power and progeny, long life and good health, for profusion of food and drinks, for victory and the extermination of their foes. Para. The Rig Veda is fully cognizant of marriage as attested in the expression, quote, the wife is the home, unquote, stop, footnote 1. Indeed, marriage leads to a life of piety and rectitude, footnote 2, and to a creation, a divine function, instanced by the union of Daiva, Prithivi, the heaven and the earth, styled as Purvaje Pitara, footnote 3, or the primeval parents. The Avesta in Iran also knows marriage and tells us that the oblations offered by a maiden or a bachelor are unacceptable alike to the gods and ancestors. Footnote 4, para. Thus, we do not find promiscuity in the Rig Veda, even though we have unmistakable evidence of considerable sexual freedom amongst the Aryans. There are clear references to an epoch when sexual relations between brother and sister, father and daughter were neither impermissible nor unheard of. The famous dialogue between Yama and Yami, bracket, Roman 10.10, bracket closes, visualizes the union of brother and sister despite the remonstrance of Yama, who refuses to oblige his sister. Yami's words emphasize the antiquity and desirability of brother-sister marriage, but those of Yama mark the prohibitive morality of a new age. To cite Yami, quote, I, Yami, am possessed by love of Yama, that may, next line, rest on the same couch beside him. Stop. Next line. I as a wife would yield me to my husband like, next line, car wheels, let us speed to meet each other. Stop, unquote, footnote 5, ... Yama replies, quote, thy friend loves not the friendship which considers, next line, her who is near in kindred as a stranger. Stop. Page 176. Next line, sons of the mighty Asura, the heroes, supporters of, next line, the heavens, see far around them. Stop, footnote 6. ... Shall we do now what we never did aforetime? ? We who, next line, spake righteously now talk impurely? ? Footnote 7. ... I will not fold mine arms about thy body, they call. Next line. It sin, S-I-N, when one comes near his sister. Stop. Not me, prepare thy pleasures with another, thy. Next line. Brother Sikhs know this from thee, O fair one. ... unquote, footnote 8, para. Yami speaks of the sanctity of custom upholding the marriage of twins, and accuses Yama of violating a holy ordinance. The latter seeks refuge in the evolving concepts of incest, taboos, and exogamy. He is afraid of, quote, public opinion, unquote, comma, of the laws of Mitra and Varuna, semicolon, of the unwinking eyes of God's sentinels. The fear of detection and censure is the greatest deterrent. Para. We have quoted extensively from Rig Veda 10.10 to bring out the growth of exogamous practices in Aryan society. The spirited assertion of a woman's right made by Yami to unite in the fullness of desire with whomsoever she likes is as candidly reiterated in the later texts and is doubtless symptomatic of a society where women enjoy social and sexual freedom. There are other examples of incest in the Rig Veda between father and daughter, mother and son. The Rig Vedic poet can with impunity imagine such relationships between the Vedic deities. We hear of the love and union of Prajapati and his daughter, footnote 9, of Pusan wooing his mother, footnote 10, of Surya following Usha, aglow with the light of a lover, footnote 11, as a young man chases a maiden, footnote 12. A beloved here, Usha is called the mother of Surya elsewhere, footnote 13. One hymn makes her the daughter, footnote 14, and another the sweetheart, footnote 15, of heaven. All these passages cannot be dismissed as fanciful descriptions of deified nature, as indeed poetic fancy cannot be unrelated to the mores of its given society. That no impropriety is felt to be committed, let alone blasphemy, in conjuring up these incestuous relationships, shows that a mode of behavior acceptable to the gods must have had its basis in known human parallels. Footnote 16, para. The Rig Veda, however, represents an age of transition when the rules of incest and exogamy definitely come to the fore. But despite assertions to the contrary, footnote 17, the Rig Veda does attest the existence of polyandry in Aryan India. It is known alike to the gods and men, page 177, who would be mystified by the negative constructions put upon their candor by the moralists of succeeding ages. Para. We begin our investigation with the twin Ashwins and their bewitching bride Surya, the daughter of Savita. If the number of hymns addressed to them serves as an indication, the Ashwins are the most important Rig Vedic gods after Indra, Agni, and Soma. Called the quote sons of Deus, Dyaus, unquote, footnote 18. They are, quote, horsemen, unquote, as their very name, Ashvi now, signifies. They personify the luminous glow of early dawn, heralding the transition from darkness to light. They are young, handsome, and ever so brilliant, and ride a resplendent chariot made for them by the Ribhus, according to the Rig Veda. Footnote 19. The Rig Veda describes how the Ashwins win the hand of the refulgent Surya, the sun god's daughter. They are repeatedly referred to as wooing Surya or competing in a divine chariot rests for her hand, footnote 20, or as driving her triumphantly home, footnote 21. The beaming bride, quote, the youthful daughter of the sun, delighting in you, bracket, Ashwins, bracket closes, ascends there your chariot, heroes, unquote, stop, footnote 22. Elsewhere, quote, she also came for friendship, maid of nobler birth, bracket, and, bracket closes, elected you as husbands, you to be her lords, unquote, stop, footnote 23. The meaning is unambiguous. The Ashwins are at once her, quote, husbands, unquote, or patis, the divine practitioners of Adelphic polyandry. We find it impossible to agree with the suggestion that they are the, quote, groomsmen, unquote, footnote 24, of Soma, who is also the husband of Surya in another context. The original Rigvedic passage from the well-known marriage hymn has no word that could be rendered as, quote, groomsmen, unquote, stop. It only tells us that the Ashwins chose, bracket, Vara, bracket closes, Surya, which is also stated in the preceding passage. The word Vara, V-A-R-A, line over last A, comes from the root or, which means, to choose, unquote, in the present context for marriage. Soma is an additional husband in the sense that he is called the first husband of every maiden a little later in the same hymn, footnote 25. The suggestion that Surya is the light of the sun transferred to the moon or Soma through the evening twilight, identifiable with the Ashwins, is ingenious, if also speculative, footnote 26. It is, quote, very doubtful, unquote, according to MacDonnell and Keith, footnote 27, whether the Rigveda recognizes the truth of the moon shining by the borrowed light of the sun. But in the passages that may be constructed to signify such awareness, footnote 28, there is no trace of the Ashwins or Surya. Where the Ashwins are called the, quote, husbands, unquote, pati, footnote 29, the Surya, their, quote, wife, unquote, patni, footnote 30, there seems no room for doubt or disagreement. Abstruse explanations apart, the evidence is quite straight and clear. Had polyandry been anathema to the ordinary Aryan, his poets and priests would have refrained from perpetrating this allegorical sacrilege in poetry, page 178. The practice was known and not yet viewed with disapprobation. Hence the gods too could be innocently described as polyandrous. The poet could certainly not invent a non-existent equation to drive home even a mythological or symbolic proposition. Footnote 31, para. The Ashwin's chariot has 3 seats, footnote 32, and is said to have 3 supports fixed in it to lay hold of, footnote 33, certainly to secure the rider's balance when the vehicle is in rapid motion. It is quite oppositely made for 3, the twin Ashwins and their consort Surya, a happy union, perhaps symbolically signified by the three wheels of their chariot. Para. If then the Nasatyas, Nasatyas, or Ashwins, practice polyandry without compunction, we need neither be shocked nor surprised. They are indeed likened to bulls, footnote 34, who rush to the aid of eunuchs' wives, footnote 35. The previous footnote was 34. There are repeated references to their positive response to the call of Purandhi Vadrimati, whom they bless with a son. Footnote 36. Celestial healers they help alike with love, potion, and benediction. Para. What the Ashwins do is by no means unexampled or solitary. The Rig Veda refers in vivifying verses to the Sadharani wife of the Maruts, Rodasi, Rodasi, who with her hair dishevelled and mind fixed on her lords, woos them to unite with her, like Surya mounting the chariot of the twin Ashwins. Footnote 37. And the bright Maruts cling to their young wife, who belongs to them all. Footnote 38. Quote, upon their chariot the youths have set the maiden wedded to glory. Stop, unquote. Footnote 39. Para. Another Rigvedic verse thus addresses the Maruts, colon quote, go ye heroes, far away, ye bridegrooms with a lovely spouse. Stop, unquote. Footnote 40. Rodasi is called their common wife more than once. Footnote 41. She is their beloved. Footnote 42. Their young and radiant wife. Footnote 43. Para. The Maruts are in fact the most numerous among the gods. Footnote 44. And are apparently thought of on the analogy of commoners on the earthly plane. And if they are described as having a common wife, the analogy points back to the common people. Footnote 45. The explanation that the Maruts are the storm-gods or clouds, and that Rodasi is the lightning associated with them, footnote 46, fails to satisfy the question why she is called their common beloved and wife. The association could indeed have been brought out in other inoffensive similes that would not lend themselves to blasphemous or immoral interpretations. The thought of blasphemy or immorality in such a description does not in fact even occur to the poets in question. The erotic predilections of the Maruts are, on the other hand, frankly emphasized in the Rigvedic verses. Footnote 47. Text continued in next file. Page 179, para. Polyandry in the divine sphere does not end with the Maruts and Rodasi. The Vishvedevas, Visvedevas, too follow suit. Quote opens, two with one dam ride on with winged steeds and journey forth like travelers on their way. Stop, unquote. Footnote 48. Mythological features such as these, footnote 49, mirror the persistence of the polyandric tradition in the early Aryan society, and it is to that society that we now turn to find proof of the practice of polyandry among men. Para. Rigveda Romans 7.33 refers to the celebrated sage Vashishta as the son of Mitra and Varuna from the nymph, 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 Urvasi. The legend clearly suggests that prominent rishi families saw nothing improper or unseemly in the idea of two persons sharing a wife and entrusting their ancestry to such a union. Indeed, the Rig Veda repeatedly refers to the plurality of husbands in relation to a single wife. Footnote 50. Reluctant to accept the existence of polyandry, MacDonnell and Kitt admit that, quote, it is difficult to be certain of the correct explanation of each separate instance of this mode of expression, unquote, stop, footnote 51. Is the plural here a so-called plural of majesty? Question mark, footnote 52. They doubt in themselves but tell us that the mythological explanation proposed by Delbrook, footnote 53, is, quote, probably right, unquote, stop, footnote 54. The plural, quote, husbands, unquote, actually occur at a number of places in the Vedas and the Sutras, and the assertion that the expression is, quote, simply generic, unquote, does not carry conviction. Rigveda 10.85.37 is quite explicit when it says, colon, quote opens, send, comma, O Pusan, comma, her, comma, most propitious, comma, in whom men scatter. Next line, seed, semicolon, who, comma, eager, comma, shall part her thighs for us, semicolon. Next line, in whom, comma, we, comma, eager, comma, may insert the member. Stop, unquote, footnote 56. Para. The bride is candidly described as, quote, desirous of, unquote, or, quote, loving her brothers-in-law, unquote, in some verses. Footnote 56. I'm sorry, the previous footnote was 55. Which seem to hint at their status as her secondary husbands. The very word for brother-in-law, devar, equals to devara, D-E-V-R equals to sign D-E-V-A-R-A, is derived from the Sanskrit root div, D-I-V, meaning, quote, to play, unquote, comma, emphasizing the free and flippant familiarity of the devar with his sister-in-law. Footnote 57. The reference to, quote, fathers-in-law, unquote, footnote 58, elsewhere points to the polyandry of the groom's parents, thus indicating the time-honored hereditary character of the custom. Para. We do not know if the three previous divine husbands of the maiden Soma, Gandharva, and Agni may, quote, be best understood as a relic of a gradually disused custom of polyandry, which was transformed into an allegory, most probably representing the life stages of a maiden till marriage, unquote, stop. Footnote 59. Says the Rig Veda, page 180, quote, Soma obtained her first of all, semicolon. Next, the Gandharva was her lord, stop. Agni was thy third husband, stop. Now one born of woman is thy fourth, stop. Footnote 60. Quote continues, Soma gave thee to the Gandharva, the Gandharva gave thee to Agni, and Agni has given thee to me for wealth and sons. Stop unquote. Footnote 51. The commentator Sayana explains, quote opens, while yet the desire for sexual intercourse has not arisen, Soma enjoys a girl, semicolon. When it has just begun, the Gandharva takes her, and at marriage transfers her to Agni, from whom man obtains her for producing wealth and sons. Stop unquote. 62. These gods are then the mythical husbands or guardians of the girl before her marriage to a man. They betoken the Aryan belief that a girl is always married to the gods before she is to man, and also the principal roles visualized for her of wifedom and maternity. The sexual imagery employed in conjuring up these successive, quote, matrimonial, unquote, relationships in the Rig Veda and later literature, making man the fourth husband of the girl, finds nothing repugnant or reprehensible in the thought of many husbands in theory, if not in practice. Para. Rig Veda 10:109 refers to the wife of a Brahmana taken to a Kshatriya's home and later returned. Its expanded version found in the Atharva Veda, to be discussed a little later, attests the existence of polyandrous practices. Para. While some scholars tell us that Niyoga, Niyoga, or levirate has nothing to do with polyandry, footnote 63, others are equally insistent that it typifies an attenuated relic of polyandry. Footnote 64. The appointed kinsman performs niyoga for the restricted purpose of begetting a son, but the Vedic Devar marriage knows no such limits. When a man's funeral rites are performed, the Didhishu, Didhisu, bracket, wooer, WWER, bracket closes, brother-in-law claims the widow as full wife for love, property, and progeny. Thus the priest addresses her, quote opens, rise, come unto the world of life, O woman, next line, come, he is lifeless by whose side you lie, stop. Next line, wife would with this, your husband was your. Next line, portion, who took your hand and wooed you. Next line, as a lover, stop unquote. Footnote 65. The brother of the deceased also takes from the latter's lifeless hand the bow it carried, so that, quote, it may be our power and might and glory. Stop. There are you, page 181. There, and here with noble heroes may we overcome all hosts that fight against us. Stop unquote. Footnote 66. The alarums and excursions of inevitable warfare dictate the need for able-bodied men and brave sons to fight shoulder to shoulder against their ubiquitous foes. And widows of childbearing age are incompatible with the whole pattern of early Aryan existence. The widow therefore grasps the hand of her brother-in-law and becomes his wife even before the obsequies end. There is no formal ceremony of marriage, for none is required. Their relationship is taken for granted, and the ease of transition prompts the presumption that the brother-in-law had been a secondary husband of the woman even during his departed brother's lifetime. The funeral notwithstanding, The poet declares, quote, "We have come forth for dancing and for laughter." Stop, unquote, footnote 67. They take death in their stride, for life must go on. As their warriors fall, many more are born to take their places. Stop. They defeat the designs of death by their virility and irrepressible will to live. Stop. And as we know from later examples down to the present day, polyandry prospers among people whose men are preoccupied with war, leaving the care of their women to those males who are obliged to stay behind. The early Aryan scene doubtless illustrates a classic combination of circumstances conducive to the practice of polyandry in some sections of a migratory society. Another verse addressed to the Ashwins thus interrogates them, quote opens, "Where were you at night, where during the day, ? Next line, O Ashwins, where do you do the necessary things, ? Next line, where do you dwell, ? Who takes you to bed? Next line, in a dwelling place, as a widow bedward. Next line, draws her husband's brother, as the next line, wife attracts the husband. Stop, unquote, footnote 68. It clearly shows that the Ashwins are polyandrous and share a common bed with a common partner. The homely simile of the widow drawing her husband's brother to bed reminds us of the bride desirous of mating with her brothers-in-law. Devakama, Devakama, bracket closes, and of the Didhishu character of the Devara. Yaska comes to our aid in understanding the true purport of this allusion and tells us that the Devara or husband's brother is called the second husband of a woman, as his designation itself suggests, one who indulges in amorous frolics with her. Footnote 69. Our thoughts quite naturally go back to the common Indo-European custom of niyoga or levirate, page 182, which was also practiced by the Hebrews, footnote 70, and is still practiced by others, footnote 71, Thus the Rigveda reveals the Aryans as a free and easy, fun-loving people, fully conversant with the uses of marriage, which they sanctify with due ritual and ceremony. We find evidence of great variety of conjugal relationships, including monogamy, footnote 72, polygamy, footnote 73, as well as polyandry. And if monogamy is approved in a few passages, footnote 74, polyandry is alike acceptable and present in circles both human and divine. The reference to the well-known sage Dirghatama's, footnote 75, by his metronymic Mamateya, footnote 76, alone in many passages of the Rigveda strongly suggests the use of metronymics, particularly in relation to the offspring of polyandrous households. He is also called Aukatya, Aucathya, or, quote, son of Yukatha, Ucatha, unquote, stop. Footnote 77. The Brihad Devata, footnote 78, tells us his interesting story woven out of fragments of Rigveda 1.140 to 64, attributed to him, quote opens. There were once, unquote, two seers' sons, Ukatya and Brihaspati. Stop. Now, Yukatya's wife was Mamata by name, comma, of the rest of Bhrigu. Stop. Footnote 79. Brihaspati, comma, the younger of the two, approached her for sexual intercourse. Stop. Now, at the time of impregnation, the embryo addressed him. Stop. Footnote 80. Quote, "Here am I, previously engendered, semicolon. You must not cause a commingling of seed." Stop, unquote. Brihaspati, comma, however, comma, could not brook this remonstrance about the seed. Stop. Footnote 81. Bracket, so, bracket closes, he addressed the embryo, colon, quote, opens, "Long darkness shall be your lot." Stop, unquote. And, bracket, hence, bracket closes, the seer, comma, Yukatya's son, comma, was born with the name Dirghatamas, bracket, long darkness, bracket closes. Stop, footnote 82. He, when born, distressed the gods, comma, having become suddenly blind. Stop. The gods, comma, however, comma, gave him, bracket opens, the use of, unquote, his eyes, bracket, I repeat, gave him, bracket opens, the use of, bracket closes, his eyes, bracket opens, tanneter, Tannetre, bracket closes, semicolon. So he was cured of his blindness. Stop, unquote, footnote 83. The story is retold in the Mahabharata. The present account is quite categorical, inasmuch as it establishes that though Mamata was known as the wife of Ukatya, his younger brother Brihaspati had free and rightful access to her. The latter could indeed force himself upon her despite her physical condition or remonstrance. This is a clear case of fraternal polyandry in which the legitimacy of the progeny is properly assured by Mamata's nuptial note with the elder brother. What is significant is that the text finds no fault with the conduct of Brihaspati. There is not a word of expostulation or condemnation, for his kind of behavior is expected and accepted in his society. Text continued in next file. Page 182. Para. The Rigvedic evidence also shows that a wife desirous of a son in her husband's absence, page 183, footnote 84, or despite his impotence, footnote 85, can have one if necessary, even through agencies other than the Devar or the husband's brother. Para. The Atharva Veda contains some unmistakable references to polyandry which go far to corroborate the conclusions drawn from the Rigvedic material. It is fully conscious of the significance of marriage and family in contemporary society, and it is in the marriage hymns themselves that we find some telling allusions to polyandry. Let us allow the text to speak for itself, colon, quote, opens. Be thou supreme among fathers-in-law, comma, supreme also among brothers-in-law, semicolon. Be thou supreme over sister-in-law, comma, supreme also over mother-in-law, stop, footnote 86, ... What is lovely, bracket, Vama, bracket closes, for the fathers who came together here, semicolon, joy to the husbands for embracing the wife. Stop. Footnote 87. The well-flowered, bracket, sukim suka, bracket closes, all-formed bridal car, bracket opens, vahatu, bracket closes, comma, golden-colored, comma, well-rolling, comma, well-wheeled, comma, do thou mount, O Surya, comma, to the world of the immortal, semicolon. Make thou a bridal car / pleasant to husbands. Stop. Footnote 88. For thee in the beginning they carried about Surya, comma, together with the bridal car, semicolon. Mayest thou, comma, O Agni, comma, give to us husbands the wife, comma, together with progeny. Stop. Footnote 89. Be thou pleasant to fathers-in-law, ... Stop. Footnote 90, unquote. The verses are indeed quite revealing. The pointed reference to, quote, fathers-in-law, unquote, in contradiction to, quote, mother-in-law, unquote, shows that the groom's parents are polyandrous. And where the poet talks of the joy of the, quote, husbands, unquote, in embracing the wife, the implication is obvious. The bridal chariot carries the bride together with her, quote, husbands, unquote, comma, who doubtless enjoy themselves. The prayer to Agni for a wife, for, quote, husbands, unquote, for the sake of progeny, clearly suggests fraternal polyandry, comma, in which it is not necessary for all the brothers to go through the ritual of marriage together with their elder brother. Patibhyo, Patibhyo, in capital A, capital V, comma, Roman 15.1.61, instead of Patye, Patya, in Rigveda 10.85.20, of which it is a variant, makes the former a deliberate and meaningful emendation. To go back to the Atharva Veda, colon, quote, opens, her, not brother slaying, comma, O Varuna, semicolon, not cattle slaying, comma, O Brihaspati, semicolon, not husband slaying, semicolon, possessing sons, comma, O Indra dash, bring, bracket her, bracket closes for us, O Savitar, dot, unquote, footnote 91, bracket opens, as, bracket closes, a soulful cultivated field hath this woman come, semicolon, in her here, comma, O men, comma, scatter ye seed, semicolon, she shall give birth to progeny for you from her belly, comma, bearing the exuded sperm of the male. Footnote 92, page 184. Quotation continued. With an eye not terrible, comma, not husband slaying, comma, pleasant, comma, helpful, comma, very propitious, comma, of easy control for the houses, comma, hero bearing, comma, loving brothers-in-law, comma, with favoring mind dash, may we thrive together with thee. Stop. Footnote 95. Not brother-in-law slaying, comma, not husband slaying be thou here, comma, propitious to the cattle, comma, of easy control, comma, very splendid, comma, having progeny, comma, hero bearing, comma, loving brothers-in-law, comma, pleasant, comma, do thou worship this household's fire. Stop. Footnote 94. Send, comma, O Pusan, comma, her, comma, most propitious, comma, in whom men scatter seed, semicolon. Who, comma, eager, comma, shall part her thighs for us, semicolon. In whom, comma, we, comma, eager, comma, may insert the member. Stop, unquote, footnote 95. Language, of course, could not be more explicit. There is no doubt that all the brothers of the bridegroom have fully approved and desired access to the bride. She comes to them as a field in which they may scatter their seed for the sake of progeny. The simile could not be more apt or appropriate. A field engages many hands for tilling, sowing, and reaping, just as the bride engages not only the groom but also his brothers in love play for the solidarity and prosperity alike of the family. She should be auspicious to her husband and to his brothers, and should give birth to noble sons. She should indeed be desirous of meeting with her husband's brothers, as the word Devar Kama shows. We have here a picture of sibling solidarity promoted by polyandry in a joint family, the household fire of which is tended and worshipped by their common spouse. Para. Another Atharva Vedic passage talks of a maiden, quote, given to husbands, unquote, to enable her to find one according to her wish. Footnote 96. The oft-repeated reference to, quote, husbands, unquote, of a girl raises no eyebrows because it is commonplace, because it does not offend against the norms of the Aryan society. The present passage seems to indicate that the girl will find a man after her heart among her husbands, presumably brothers. Para. The Atharva Veda repeats the Rig Veda belief that every girl is always married, that Soma is her first husband, Gandharva the second, and Agni the third, and that the fourth husband is of human birth. Footnote 97. Soma passes her on to Gandharva, who gives her to Agni, and Agni gives her to man. Footnote 98. This mystical allegory is clearly pregnant with the traces of polyandry, and certainly not innocent of it. Later explanatory texts do not describe the three gods as mere guardians, but as enjoying the girls in a most mundane and matter-of-fact manner. Footnote 99. That divinity does not taint must indeed be a comforting thought for the human husband. And if polyandry is permissible without fuss in the divine sphere, is it an ideal of yore from which men are departing with the passage of time? Page 185, para. There are some truly baffling verses in the Rig Veda, footnote 100, and the Atharva Veda, footnote 101, expressive of the notion that every virgin contains a demon who leaves her with the nuptial blood, causing some risk to her husband. And they have been interpreted to mean that a proxy for the husband took the risk and then disappeared. Footnote 102. There are verses, footnote 103, however, that hint at the defloration of the bride by the husband himself and no other person. Be that as it may, the use or otherwise of a proxy has nothing to do with polyandry. Para. Patent proof of polyandry is provided by other passages in the Atharva Veda. A.V. Roman 5.17 takes up the theme of a Brahmana's wife who was returned to her husband by King Soma after a while. Footnote 104. The 8th verse of this hymn makes a preposterous claim for the Brahmana, quote opens. And if there are 10 former husbands of a woman, not Brahmanas, provided a Brahmana has seized her hand, he is alone her husband. Footnote 105, unquote. And the 9th repeats it to leave no room for doubt, quote opens. A Brahmana is indeed her husband, not a noble, bracket, Rajanya, bracket closes, not a Vaishya, semicolon. This the sun goes proclaiming to the 5 races of men. Stop, unquote, footnote 106. This extravagant claim is characteristic of the ravenous Brahmanical rapacity that comes quite unabashedly to the fore in the Atharva Veda. The Brahmana goes out of his way to lay a claim to the wives of others when he cannot even defend his own. For the return of the Brahmana's wife is the central theme of the hymn. What, however, these verses clearly show is that a woman may have as many as 10 husbands at a time. They must be contemporaries so that it becomes essential for the Brahmana to stress his supersessive primacy. That polyandry was well known and being practiced in the age of the Atharva Veda cannot be doubted. 2 more verses elsewhere in the Atharva Veda deserve notice, quote opens. Whoever, bracket, fem dot, feminine, bracket closes, having gained a former husband, then gains another later on, if they shall give a goat with 5 rice dishes, they shall not be separated. Stop, footnote 107. Her later husband comes to have the same world with his remarried spouse who, bracket opens, masc dot, masculine, bracket closes, gives a goat with 5 rice dishes, with the light of sacrificial gifts. Stop, unquote. Footnote 108. These verses have been taken as proof of widow remarriage. Footnote 109. But the original talks only of a twice married woman, not of a widow. The arrival of the second husband does not necessarily mean, page 186, the death or departure of the first. According to Keith, footnote 110, the spell secures that a woman married twice may be united in the next world with her second husband, not the first. There is nothing in the original, though, to preclude the presence of the former husband in the life beyond. We must indeed be looking at a potentially polyandrous situation in paradise. Double mark of exclamation. The funeral verses in the Atharva Veda, like those of the Rig Veda discussed earlier, footnote 111, give us a vivid glimpse of the act a widow puts on by lying beside her dead husband, only to get up soon enough to grasp the outstretched hand of her husband's brother. Quote opens. This woman, choosing her husband's world, lies down, bracket, ni-pad, bracket closes, by thee that are departed, O mortal, continuing to keep her ancient duty, semicolon, to her assign thou here progeny and property. Footnote 112, stanza. Go up, O woman, to the world of the living, semicolon. Thou liest by this one who is deceased, semicolon, come, mark of exclamation. To him who grasps thy hand, comma, thy spouse, bracket, didhishu, bracket closes, comma, thou hast now entered into the relation of wife to husband. Stop, footnote 113, unquote, para. The didhishu brother-in-law's immediate and acknowledged claim on his brother's widow is a significant pointer to the probability that he was a secondary husband even before her widowhood. The husband's brother is always to be loved and desired, as we have already seen. Witness translation of the second verse here, bracket AV, comma, Roman 28.3.2, bracket closes, renders Didhi Satavedam as, quote, thy second spouse, unquote, footnote 114, even though there is no word signifying, quote, second, unquote, in this passage. We find reference to this custom in many other texts of the later Vedic period. Footnote 115, para. It looks as though polyandry was common among the non-Aryans, especially the Ostrics, footnote 116, and was also found among the Aryans, the Brahmanas, and the Rishis in particular. The Atharva Veda is perhaps the most important testament of the Aryan-un-Aryan fusion, and records many traditions and practices that go back to earlier antiquity. And the picture that emerges from the examination of many passages in the foregoing discussion proves the presence of polyandry beyond the shadow of any doubt. And we need not be taken aback. Polyandry was a widespread practice among the Indo-European peoples. Text continued in next file. Page 186, para. The Taittiriya Samhita speaks of a woman being given to the Gandharvas. She also goes to the gods as they sing. Quote, so if there is in a family one person who knows thus, page 187, bracket opens, that is, sings, bracket closes, comma, men give their daughters in wedlock to that family, comma, even if there be other, bracket, wooers, WWERS, bracket closes, in plenty. Stop, unquote, footnote 117. Kit's opinion that, quote, there is no real suggestion of polyandry, unquote, comma, footnote 118, cannot be accepted when we view the present passage side by side with later ones which expressly tell us that a girl is given to a family, footnote 119, semicolon, and some of which call it reprehensible. Stop, footnote 120. Elsewhere, footnote 122, to the Taittiriya Samhita refers, as do the other Samhitas, to noble husbands and fair offspring. In relation to a single wife, whatever we may take that to mean. Para. The Vedic texts often speak of the cell of a daughter, footnote 122, which must be viewed and understood in the context of the Vedic injunction that the younger brothers and sisters should not marry before their elders do so. Footnote 123. If the current practices in polyandrous societies, including those descended from the ancient Aryans, footnote 124, serve as any guide, the younger brothers contribute to the amount of bride price paid to the girl's father and enjoy socially sanctioned access to the common wife as her co-husbands. The eldest brother is almost invariably the first to marry, and not all the younger brothers care to contract individual marriages. Among the khasas, KHSs mentioned earlier, polyandry, monogamy, as well as group marriage are in simultaneous evidence. Para. Marriages by capture are also known to the Vedas, including the Rig Veda itself. Footnote 125, thus anticipating the Rakshasa mode of marriage mentioned in the later Dharmashastra texts. Footnote 126. This is doubtless another form of marriage associated with polyandry in early antiquity. The references in the Vedic literature, though, do not specify whether some of these marriages were polyandrous in character. Para. MacDonald and Keith believe that metronymics denote sons of maidens, bracket, Kumari Putra, bracket closes comma, such as Satya Kama Javala in the Chandogya Upanishad, footnote 127, and the teachers, within bracket question mark, bracket closes, of the lists, bracket Vankshas, bracket closes, given in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, footnote 129. But if the Rigvedic example of Mamateya is any indication, metronymics may point as much to polyandry as to polygyny or promiscuity. Their suggestion would make most of these ancient teachers sons of maidens, which is on the face of it an absurd proposition. Para. Twice or thrice in the later Vedic literature, we come across opposition to the practice of polyandry, which only serves to illustrate the incipient morality of a succeeding epoch. Says that the Aitiriya Samhita, page 188, quote opens, on one sacrificial post he passes round 2 girdles, comma, so one man secures 2 wives, semicolon, that he does not pass 1 girdle round 2 posts, comma, so one wife does not obtain 2 husbands, stop unquote, footnote 129, para. The Aitareya Brahmana once asserts that a man has several wives, comma, quote opens, but one wife has not many husbands at the same time, unquote, stop, footnote 130, and that ends the registration of protest. Para. Why did Brahmanism seek to oppose something that was non-existent? Critical opposition is directed only against an obtaining practice that might become obnoxious or repugnant to certain sections of a given society. When male jealousy asserts itself alongside increasing male dominance, this is the kind of protest males would mouth. These rare voices of opposition indeed presuppose the presence of polyandry. Para. Polyandry thus is neither un-Vedic nor merely un-Aryan. It is true that both before and after their arrival in India, the Aryans were caught in the closest possible contact with populations among whom polyandry was an established social usage. Stop unquote, footnote 131. But to nail polyandry down to the names of the non-Aryan, Tibetan or Dravidian tribes or castes to the exclusion of the Aryans would amount to a falsification of history. They were also likewise polyandrous. This is not to say that they did not know monogamy or polygyny. The trend was undeniably in the direction of monogamy, as many passages testify. Footnote 132. And the Atharva Veda even compares a pair of human spouses to the inseparable Chakravakas, the proverbial poetic pair of loving birds. Quote opens. Here, O Indra, do thou push together these two spouses like two Chakravakas, let them, with bracket there, THEIR, bracket closes, progeny, well-homed, leave out all their lifetime. Stop, unquote, footnote 133. The marriage hymns of the Vedas consist of mantras of different origins, truly reflecting the variety of the usages of marriage in the Aryan society. Not in India alone, polyandry was practiced among other members of the Indo-European group as well. It was a well-established form of marriage among the Medes, Medes, capital, of the upland country. Stop, footnote 134. As it was common also among the Geti, Get-Ti, of Bactria, Bactria, and Sogdiana, Sogdiana, and among the tribes of the Hindu Kush. Footnote 136. The kings of the Medes, according to Strabo, footnote 136, the previous footnote was 135, were polygynous, Polygynous, semicolon. But the masses were polyandrous, and the women reckoned it an honor to have many husbands. Indeed, to have less than 5 was accounted a misfortune. Footnote 137. We know that polyandry was by no means unknown or uncommon around the shores of the Caspian, whence, according to the latest authorities, page 189, the Aryans came to India. Mayrofer, Mayr, footnote 138, believes that Central Asia was their original home, and Diakonov, Diakonov, footnote 139, agrees. The Soviet archaeologists connect them with the Andronovo, Andronovo culture of Kazakhstan and southern Siberia. Footnote 140. Continued in next file. Page 189. Polyandry in the Vedic period. Notes. 1. RV Roman 3 53, 4, Jayadashtam. 2. Ibid Roman 10 85.24. Ritasya Yamau Sukritasya Loke ... 3. Ibid Roman 7.53.2 semicolon Roman 10.65.8. Pitara Pura Bhaja CF. Also 1.159.2. They are called Matara in 1.159.3 semicolon and Janitri in 1.185.6. AB, Roman 4.27.5 speaks of their marriage. 4. Ashi Yashta, C.10.54. 5. RV, X.10.7. 6. Ibit.2. 7. Ibit.4. 8. Ibit.12. 9. Ibit.10.61.5 to 9, semicolon. AB, 3.33, semicolon. CF.SB 2.1.2.8. 10. RV 6.35.5. Mathur Didhishu. He is also called his sister's lover in Ibid 6.55.4. Pushanam. Swasurya Jara Uchyate. 11. Ibid 1.92.11. Yasa Jarasya Chakshasha Bibhati. 12. Ibid 1.115.2. Surya Devi Musasham Rocha Manam Mario Na Yosha Mabhyeti Paschat. 13. Ibid 1.113.1, 2, semicolon. 7.78.3. She is the wife of Surya in 7.75.5. Suryasya Yosha, and in 4.5.13 Patani Sura. 14. Ibid 1.30.22 Duhitar Diva. 15. Ibid 1.46.1 Priya Diva. 16. V.M. Apte assures us that, quote, the so-called incestuous intercourse between father and daughter in the story of Prajapati, bracket 10.61.5 to 7, bracket closes, comma, and between brother and sister in the dialogue between Yama and Yami, bracket 10.10, bracket closes, can be satisfactorily explained, bracket opens, in the opinion of the present writer, bracket closes, on a mythological or astronomical basis, unquote, stop. See if the Vedic age, bracket Bombay, 1950, bracket closes, comma, P.394, stop. Such explanations are necessitated only by later morality. 17. See if Apte LOC.CIT. Page 394. Quote, polyandry is not referred to anywhere in the Rig Veda, unquote, stop. Ramgopal tells us that it was, quote, abhorrent to Indo-Aryan even to think of polyandry, unquote, stop. See if his India of Vedic Kalpasutras, Delhi 1989, page 443, stop. Professor A.L. Basham, The Wonder That Was India, London 1971, page 174, however, holds that the practice was not wholly unknown. 18. RV 1.117.12. Divo napata ... which seems to be the equivalent of LETTIC, Letic Diva, Delhi, and Lithuanian Deva Sundei, Sundei. 19. RV 10.39.12. 20. IBIT 10.39.11. 21. IBIT 1.116.17 semicolon 117.13 semicolon 118.5 semicolon 119.5 dot page 190. 22. IBIT 1.118.5. 23. IBIT 1.119.5. VAM Patitvam Sakkayaya Jagmushi Yoshavrinita Jania Yavam Pafi. 24. IBIT 10.85.9. 24. IBIT 10.85.9. Somo Vadu Yura Bhava Dasvi Nashtamubha Vara ... CF. BS Upadhyaya, Women in Rigveda, Delhi 1974, page 121. 25. RV 10 85.40. Soma Prathamo Vividhe Gandharva Vivida Uttara / Tritiyo Agniste Patisturiyaste Manushyaja / CF, also verse 41. 26. CF Upadhyaya, opposite pages 120, 121. We must remember that sunset plays but little part in Vedic worship. 27. Vedic Index 2.pp 467, 468. 28. CF.RV. 9.71.9. Also IBIT 9.76.4 semicolon 86.32 semicolon 1.190.3. CF Hildebrand Vedische Mythology, 3, pp 467, 468. 29. RV 1.119.5 etc. 30. IBIT, 10.39.11. Yamashvina Suhava Rudravartani Pururatham Krinushta Patnaya Saha. 31. CF H. D. Griswold, The Religion of the Rigveda, London 1923, pages 259 to 60. 32. CF RV 1.34.9 semicolon 1.47.2 semicolon 1.118.1 semicolon 1.157.3 semicolon 7.71.4 etc. 33. IBIT 1.34.2. 34. IBIT 10.39.9 Vrishana. 35. IBIT 6.62.7 V. Jayusha Rathya Yata Madrim Shrutam Havam Vrishana Vadri Matya. 36. IBIT 1.116.13 CF 1.117.24 Hiranya Hastamashvina Rarana Putram Nara Vadrimatya Adattam. Cf. also 1.117.19 semicolon 10.39.7 semicolon 65.12. Vadrimati means the wife of an impotent man. MacDonald and Kith go beyond the warrant of the Rigvedic text when they suggest that the Ashwins gave her a son by restoring her husband's virility. Cf. Vedic Index S.V. Vadrimati. In the Mahabharata, for example, they sire the Princess Nakula and Sahadeva on Madri through Niyoga and not by restoring the sexual efficacy of her husband Pandu. Cf. also Zimmer, Altindisches Leben, page 398, henceforth AL. 37. RV 1.167.5. Jasad. Yadima Surya Sachadhyayai Vishishta Stuka Rodasi Nri Nana / Suryeva Vidhata Ratham Gat Tvesa Pratika Nabhasa Netiya. 38. Ibid 1.167.4. 39. Ibid 1.167.6. 40. Ibid.5.6.4. Paravirasa Itana Mariasa Bhadrajanayaka. 41. CF Ibid 6.50.5. 42. Ibid 1.64.9. 43. Ibid 1.101.7, 5.61.4. 44. CF.Ibid 8.96.8 semicolon SV 2.9.3.3.2 semicolon AV 4.27.7 semicolon TS, V 4.7 designates the Maruts as, quote, the people, unquote, stop. CF SB 2.5.1.13 semicolon 9.3.1.25. 45. The Maruts are repeatedly identified with the people. CF 75.5.4.7.7 semicolon SB 2.5.2.27, 34, 36 semicolon 4.3.3.6. 46. CF Upadhyaya opposite pages 121 to 2, page 191. 47. RV V.52.3.6. 48. Ibid 8.29.4. 49. Prithvi is, for example, the wife of Dyaus, Dyaus, in the dual compound Dyava Prithvi. CF RV 1.159.2 semicolon 7.53.2 semicolon 10.65.8 stop. But she is also sometimes called the wife of Parjanya, the rain-giving cloud. Elsewhere, bracket RV, 8.102.1, bracket closes, called the son of Dyaus. Stop. And in the Vaitana Sutra 15.3, Prithvi is referred to as the wife of Agni. Of husband, she indeed has more than one. Usha also has many lovers. She is the wife of the sun. Suryasya Yosha in RV 7.75.5 and Patani Sura in Ibid 6.5.13 stop. But she is also the beloved or Priya of Dyaus in Ibid 1.46.1 semicolon and of Ogni in Ibid, 1.69.1 semicolon, 7.10.1 semicolon, CF 10.3.3 stop. She is often associated with the twin Ashwins, as in Ibid 1.44.2 semicolon, 183.2 semicolon, 3.58.1 semicolon, 4.52.2, 3 semicolon, 8.9.17 semicolon, 10.39.12, and she is also once connected with the moon in Ibid 10.85.19. Surya was wooed by Soma, and chosen by the Ashwins, whom she herself chose, bracket, Vrinita, bracket closes, and whose chariot she then mounted, stop. cf.ibid.10.85.9 semicolon 4.43.6 semicolon 1.119.5 semicolon 7.69.4 semicolon 5.73.5 semicolon 8.8.10 semicolon 1.34.5 semicolon 116.17 semicolon 118.5 semicolon 6.35.5 semicolon 1.117.13 semicolon 4.43.2 semicolon. Though the Ashwins are her, quote, husbands, unquote, bracket, pati, bracket closes, the gods elsewhere give her to Pushan, cf. Ibid 6.58.4, 50, RV.10.85.37 and verse 38. Puna patibhyo jayam the Agni Prajaya Saha. 51. Vedic Index 1. Page 479. 52. Weber. Indices Stadion 5,191 semicolon. CF Zimmer, AL dot, page 326. 53. Delbruck. Die Indo-Germanischen Verwande Scaf Namem, page 543. 54. Vedic Index 1, page 479. 55. See note 50 above. 56. CFRV 10.85.44. Devakama, stop, quote. The AV MSS dot are divided between Kama and Devikrama in 15.2.17 and 18, stop. See witness translation, 2, pages 756, 757. According to Shorkar, some aspects of the earliest social history of India, London 1928, page 80, the variant readings Devakama, quote, shows an attempt at conscious emendation, unquote, stop. But Deva, 2, means, quote, husband's brother, unquote, semicolon. See Monier Williams, Sanskrit English Dictionary, S.V. 57. For the etymology of Devar and Devara, see Yaska, Nirukta 3.15. 58 CF RV 10.95.12, comma, Swasuresu. 59 Shorkar opposite, page 80. 60 RV 10.85.40, Soma Prathamo Vivide Gandharva Vividha Uttara / Tritiya Agniste Patistutriyaste Manushyaja. 61 Ibid 10.85.41, Soma Dada Gandharva Dad Gandharvya Gandharvo Dada Dagnae / Raim Cha Putrams Cha Dagni Yamasta Imam. Stop. 62 Shayana on the above verses. 63 CF Vedic Index S.V. 64 CF McLennan Primitive Marriage, Chicago 1970, pages Roman 25, 81 to 2, 90, 97, semicolon. Briffault, the Mothers, London 1952, Roman 1, 681 to 2. 65 RV 10.18.8, Udirashva Naryavi Jivalokam Gatashu Meta Mupa Sesha Ehi / Hasta Grahasya Didhi Shusta Vedam Patyarjanitavyamapi Sam Babhuta. Stop. Page 192. 66 Ibid.9. 67 Ibid.10.18.3 ... Prancho Agama Nritaye Hasaya. 68 Ibid.10.40.2. 69 Yaska Nirukta 3.15, Sanskrit long quote. C.F. M.J. Bakshi edited The Nirukta of Yaska Muni, first edition, Bombay 1930. L. Sarup edited The Nighantu and the Nirukta, Delhi 1967. According to Sarup, S-A-R-U-P, page 48 of his translation, the passage, quote, "He is so called because he is the second husband," unquote, is an interpolation. We cannot, however, be certain. The etymology of Devara given by Yaska quite agrees with the meaning of this passage. 70. C.F. David Loth, L-O-T-H, The Erotic in Literature, London 1961, pages 47, 48. 71. C.F. Chai, C-H-I-E, Nakane, N-A-K-A-N-E, quote, "A plural society in Sikkim, a study of the interrelations of Lepchas, Bhotiyas and Nepalis," unquote, in Führer Heimendorf, edited, Cast and Keen in Nepal, India and Ceylon, Bombay 1966, pages 243 to 5. She comes to the conclusion that, quote, "the widespread levirate ideology among both Lepchas and Bhotiyas paves the way for polyandrous marriage," unquote, stop. See page 244. C.F. also Führer Heimendorf, The Sherpas of Nepal, London 1964, for a description of polyandry among them. 72 CFRV 1.124.7 semicolon 4.3.2 semicolon 10.71.4 etc. 73 IBIT 1.62.11 semicolon 71.1 semicolon 104.3 semicolon 105.8 semicolon 112.19 semicolon 186.7 semicolon 6.53.4 semicolon 7.18.2 semicolon 26.3 semicolon 10.43.1 semicolon 101.11 stop. CF Muir MUIR Sanskrit texts 5,455 ETSCQ Shredder SCHRADER Prehistoric Antiquities page 387 stop. Jolly JOLLY Recht RECHT UND Sitte SITTE page 64 semicolon. Von Schroeder Indiens Literatur und Kultur pages 430-431 semicolon. Delbruck Die Indo-Germanischen Verandtschaftsdemen pp 539,540 semicolon. Hopkins JAOS volume 13 page 353 semicolon. Bloomfield Zeitschrift der Deutschen Morgenländischen Gesellschaft volume 48 page 561. 74 C note 72 above. 75 RV 1.158.1.6 semicolon. CF Sankhayana Aranyaka 14 semicolon AB, 8.23. 76 RV 1.147.3 semicolon 152.6 semicolon 158.6 semicolon 4.4.13. 77 IBIT 1.158.1. 78 Brihadevata 4.11 to 15 semicolon 21 to 5. 79 IBIT 4.11. 80 IBIT 4.12. 81 IBIT 4.13. 82 IBIT 4.14. 83 IBIT 4.15, CF A. MacDonald, edited and translator. The Brihadevata attributed in Saunaka, a summary of the deities and myths of the Rigveda, parts 1 and 2. HOS, volumes 5 and 6, second issue, Delhi, 1965. The text and translation are taken from this work. Page 193, Women in Early Indian Societies. Notes continued. Page 193, Notes continued. 84, RV Roman 4.42.8. If we identify the Rigvedic Purukutsa with his namesake of the Puranic list, then the sort of Purukutsani was obtained through her Devara. 85 RV Roman 1.116.13 semicolon 117.24 semicolon Roman 6.62.7 semicolon Roman X.39.7 semicolon OF Roman 10.65.12. 86 AV Roman 15.1.44. Samaraj Nedha. Samraj Nedha. Samraj Nedhi. Swabas Swava Sureshu Samarajnuta Devarsu etc. The translation of the AV are taken from Whitney, who tries to be as literal as possible. 87. Ibid. Roman 15.1.46. Vaman Pitribhyo Ya Idam Sami Rire Maya Patibhyo Janaye Parishvaje. 88. Ibid. Roman 15.1.61. Sukha Vingsukam Vahatum Vishwarupam Hiranya Varnam Sura Vritam Suchakram / Aroha Surye Amritasya Lokam Sayonam Patibhya Vahatum Krinu Tvam. 89. Ibid. Roman 14.2.1. Sana Patibhyo Jayam Da Agne Prajaya Saha. 90. Ibid. Roman 14.2.27. Shyama Bhava Swasurebhya ... 91. Ibid. Roman 15.1.62. Abhratraghanim Varuna Pashughanim Brihaspati / Indra Patigrihanim Putri Nimas Mabhyam Santarvaha. 92. Ibid. Roman 14.2.14. Atma Matyarvara Nadiya Nagan Tasyam Naro Vapata Bijanasyam / Sava Prajam Janyad Vaksanadhiya Bibhrati Dugdham Rishya Bhashya Reta. Women are often likened to a field. Cf. Manu, Roman 9, 330 ff. Cf. Also Quran 2.22. Quote, your women are your ploughland, unquote, stop. 93. AV. Roman 14.2.17. Agama Chakshura Patighni Siona Sagama Sushva Suyama Grihobhya / Vira Suva Devar Kama Sam Tvae Thishimahi Sumanasyamayana. Cf. RV 10 85.44. These notes are very small print and are very difficult to read. I would request readers to please get it read by a reader. Continue the next file. Prostitution in Ancient India, page 196, Shukumari Bhattacharjee. 96. AV Roman 2.37.7. ete patibhyastva maduh pratikamaya bhettabhe. 97 Ebit, Roman 15.2.3. 98 Ebit, Roman 15.2.4 CF. RV, Roman 10, 85.40.41. 99. Roma Kala tu samprapte soma bhunkita kanyakam / raju drishtva tu gandharva kucho drishtva tu pravaka. Stop. Samvarta, verse 24, quoted by SM.C. Roman 1.P 79 and CR.R.P 46.CF. Kane, History of Dharmashastra, Volume 2, Part 1, 2nd edition, Pune 1974, page 443. 100. CF RV Roman 10.85.28.29.34.35 etc. 101 AV Roman 14.1.9 25, 26, 28, 29, 30 semicolon Roman 14 2.66, 67. 102 CF Sumner Folk Ways, page 353, semicolon Zimmer, ALPP 313-14. 103 AV Roman 14.1.27. 104 AV Roman 5.17.1 semicolon CF MS, Roman 3.7.3. 105 AV, Roman 5.17.8. Uta Yal Pataya Dasa Striya Purve Abrahamana / Brahma Adhishtam Agrahit sa eva Pati Rekha Dha. 106 Ebit. Roman 5.17.9. Brahmana eva patirna rajanya na vaishya / tatsurya, page 194. Prabrabhaneti panchabhiya Manabhediya bracket I.B. Horner. Women under primitive Buddhism makes a mistake when she refers her readers to RV Roman 10.109.89. RV Roman 10.109 has only 7 verses. She probably meant AV Roman 5.17.8 and 9, cited here, bracket closed. 107 AV Roman 9.5.27. 108 Ebit. Roman 9.5.28. Delbruck in German possibly, pages 553 to 5, realizes that the first husband is still alive and surmises that he is probably impotent or patila, fallen from his caste. There is no basis for such an assumption. Stop. Also see Vedic Index 1, page 477. 109 CF. The Vedic Age, page 457. 110 Keith in Hastings, ED. Encyclopedia of Religion and Ethics, volume 8, page 452. 111 see above, page 180. 112 AV Roman 18.3.1. 113 Ebit Roman 18.3.2. 114 Whitney's Translation, volume 2, page 848. 115 capital TA, Roman 6.1.3. The text reads Abhi Sambhabubha, which the commentator explains by Abhimukhyana Samyak Prapnuhi. CF Kaushika Sutra 80.45. Ashvalayana GS Roman 4.2.18. 116 CF Meyer, capital SLAI, volume 1, pp 115 to 16, semicolon Jolly, Rect and Sit, page 48. 117 TS, Roman 6.1.6, CF Kith, The Veda of the Black Yajus School, Part 2, HOS, volume 19, page 493. 118 Ibid, FN6, 119 CF AP, DHS, Roman 2.10.27.224, quote, a bride is given to a family, bracket, of brothers and not to one alone, bracket closes, unquote, stop. CF Kane Locksit, volume 2, part 1, page 555. 120 Brihaspati quoted in Smriti Chandrika, Roman 1.10. 121 TS, Roman 3.5.6. 122 MS, Roman 1.10.11, semicolon, TS2 3.4.1, semicolon, Tait B.1.1.2.4, semicolon, Kathaka Samhita, Roman 20.6.5, CF Manu, Roman 3.53, semicolon, Roman 8.204, semicolon, Roman 9.98, semicolon, Megasthenes in Mackrindle's translation, page 70, Weber, Indisch Studien 5, page 407, semicolon, Hopkins, JAOS 13, pp 345 FF, semicolon, Schroeder, Prehistoric Antiquities, page 381, Pichel, Vedische Studien 2, pp 78F, Hildebrand, Vedische Mythology 3, page 86N, semicolon, Jolly, Rect and Sit, page 52, Vedic Index 1, page 482, CF also RV Roman 1.109.2, 123 CF Delbruck, German name, pp 578 FF. Those who break the common rule of conduct are censured as sinful and given derogatory epithets such as Parivividana or Agridadhus, meaning the man who, though a younger brother, marries before his elder brother. The latter is then called Parinitta. Stop. Agredidhishu is the man who weds a younger daughter while her elder sister is yet unmarried. All these epithets have a connotation of disapproval. CF MS, Roman 6.1.9, semicolon, VS Roman 30.9, semicolon, AP.DH.S, Roman 2.5.12.22, semicolon, Vedic Index, Roman 1.P.476, 124 CF D.N. Majumdar, Races and Cultures of India, pp 167, 172, 192 FF, semicolon, quote, some aspects of the cultural life of the Khasas of the Cis-Himalayan region, unquote. Page 195. Journal and Proceedings of the Royal Asiatic Society of Bengal, 3rd Series, Volume 6, 1940, pp 1 FF. semicolon. Why is Parmar, Polyandry in the Himalayas, Delhi 1975, pp 20 to 4, 54 ff. Majumdar makes an interesting observation in the article referred to above. Polyandry, according to him, enabled the Khasas to retain their racial purity. 125 cf RV 1.112.19 semicolon 116.1 semicolon 117.20 semicolon Roman 10.39.7 semicolon 65.12 dot. Also see the chapter on the ethics of war in my Ancient Indian Warfare. 126 C.F. Hopkins, JAOS 13, pp 361 to 2, semicolon. Jolie, Recton City, pp 50 ff, semicolon. Pichel, Vedische Studien, Roman 1, page 29, semicolon. Schreder, Prehistoric Antiquities, page 383. 127. C.A. Vedic Index 1, page 481, CHU, Roman 4.4.1. 2, 4 dot. 128 Vedic Index in FN 70 on page 481 they say, quote, the custom may be due simply to polygamy, unquote, and refer to Keith, Aitareya Aranyaka, page 244, FN2. Had they meant both polyandry and polygamy, I repeat, had they meant both polyandry and polygyny by polygamy, we would have been in total agreement. But they use the term, quote, polygamy, unquote, for polygyny. We also find the use of metronymics in some early Indian epigraphs at Pavosa, Bharhut, etc. 129. T.S. Roman 6.6.4.3 Sanskrit writing. C.F. also T.S. Roman 6.5.1.4 semicolon. Kane, History of Dharma Shastra, Volume 2, Part 1, pp 550-1. 130 A.B. Roman 12.2, Tasamadikasaya Bahurya Jaya Bhavanti Naikashyai Babha Bahava Saha Pataya. 131 Brifault, Briffault, The Mothers, Volume 1, page 688. 132 CF RV Roman 1.124.7 semicolon Roman 4.3.2 semicolon Roman 10.17.4. 133 AB Roman 14.2.64 Sanskrit writing. 134 the Aryan was the ruling race there stopped. CFP Sykes Sykes, Sir, A History of Persia, Volume 1, page 95. 135. Brifault, Locksit, Volume 1, pp 671, 691-2. 136. Strabo, Roman 11.13.11. 137. Ibid. 138. CF M. Mayrofer, Mayrhofer, DIE, Die Indo-Aryan in Alien, L10, Verdician, Wiesbaden, 1966. 139 I. M. Diakonov, Estonia, Midi, Moscow, 1956, pages 124-5. 140 T. Barrow, quote, The Proto-Indo-Aryans, JRAS 1973, number 2, pages 123-40. Text continued in page 196, Prostitution in Ancient India. Page 193, Notes continued. 84. RV Roman 4.42.8. If we identify the Rigvedic Purukutsa with his namesake of the Puranic list, then the sort of Purukutsani was obtained through her Devara. 85. RV Roman 1.116.13 semicolon 117.24 semicolon Roman 6.62.7 semicolon Roman X.39.7 semicolon OF Roman 10.65.12. 86. AV Roman 15.1.44. Samaraj Nedha. Samraj Nedha. Samraj Nedhi. Swabas Swavasureshu Samarajnuta Devarsu etc. The translation of the AV are taken from Whitney, who tries to be as literal as possible. 87. Ibid. Roman 15.1.46. Vaman Pitribhyo Ya Idam Sami Rire Maya Patibhyo Janaye Parishvaje. 88. Ibid. Roman 15.1.61. Sukha Vingsukam Vahatum Vishwarupam Hiranya Varnam Sura Vritam Suchakram / Aroha Surye Amritasya Lokam Sayonam Patibhya Vahatum Krinu Tvam. 89. Ibid. Roman 14.2.1. Sana Patibhyo Jayam the Agne Prajaya Saha. 90. Ibid. Roman 14.2.27. Shyama Bhava Swasurebhya ... 91. Ibid. Roman 15.1.62. Abhratraghanim Varuna Pashughanim Brihaspati / Indra Pati Grihanim Putri Nimas Mabhyam Santa Vaha Santarvaha. 92. Ibid. Roman 14.2.14. Atma Matyarvara Nadiya Nagan Tasyam Naro Vapata Bijanasyam / Sava Prajam Janyad Vaksanadhiya Bibhrati Bibhrati, Dugdham Rishya, Bhashya, Reta. Women are often likened to a field. Cf. Manu, Roman 9, 330 ff.cf. Also Quran 2.22, quote, your women are your plowland, unquote, stop. 93 AV. Roman 14.2.17. Agama Chakshura Patighni Siona Sagama Sushva Suyama Grihobhya / Vira Suva Devar Kama Sam Twae Thishimahi Sumanasyamayana cf. RV 10 85.44. These notes are very small print and are very difficult to read. I would request readers to please get it read by a reader. Continued in next file, Prostitution in Ancient India, page 196, Shukumari Bhattacharjee.